Aloha everyone, my name is Marc Tolliver and I am coming to you from the beautiful island of Hawaii. Of course, this office and the scale could be anywhere, but I am a coach that is associated with Life Creations Education, which is a coaching company out of California. And I am coming to you from Maui, Hawaii, because my intention is to create what our class is all about today, the ebb and the flow of our intentions and of our balance that we're trying to achieve. Ooh, I said trying. Already caught myself. Trying is, to me, a word that doesn't focus on perfect balance that we're talking about today. That's why I have the scale in front of me. And trying, to me, is half-half. It's almost like trying to stand from a sitting position. If I went up like this and just kind of stayed here and not get to stand, this would become kind of painful for a while, or I'll have to sit back down. So trying, to me, is half-half. Our intention is to create an action to get the reaction of what we want to do. What we want to do out of life, work, career, family, hobbies, whatever that is, whatever that intention that you want to set forth. So in this class, and if you're joining me for the very first time, that's fine. You'll get a lot out of this class. I have been doing these classes all the way back from New Year's Day, 2013. So if you'd like to catch up, these videos are 3 to 16 minutes long so far, and it's really easy to catch up with us. You can even put me on pause. And I also love to give homework assignments, so I will do that at the end of the class and follow up with everyone. And hopefully you'll get a lot out of this today. So we're talking about balance. In my previous video, video 12, we were talking about the ebb and the flow of everything, our behaviors that come up when we set our intentions, because now we're creating, if we strike that action, we're creating a reaction. And it can change our lives, it can change situations. People may not be used to what's going on. You may not be used to what's going on, or this intention is creating something more, a stronger focus on work, a stronger focus on family, but how do you balance it? And the balance is actually, all this is actually an illusion. And we can never really get that balance. It's like trying to stand up, the word try. It's like trying to hold on to two things and make it completely balanced when one side's going to start getting tired, or one side's going to feel a little bit heavier than the other, and we're ignoring one side while we're trying to focus on the other side. So what I was talking about is all about ease, creating that ease. So our behaviors, we can feel anxiety when we create new intentions, we can feel fun, we can be excited, we can create a rush of excitement, or we can create fear with our intention too. Do I really want to go there? Oh, it's here. Oh, it's in front of my face. What am I going to do now? I also used examples in the last video that I'll use in this video about the ebb and flow of the ocean. I live here in Maui. I see the water every day. And I love to focus in on my morning walks on how that ocean is going, how my day may go. Is the ocean with the waves really huge and it's crashing on shore, exposing the coral reef underneath and sweeping the sand out to sea? Or is it gently lapping like what we call here ankle snappers, where the waves are as big as your ankles and it's just gently coming to our shores and gently kissing the shores and barely even moving the sand or the shells and going back into the water and doing the same consistent motion over and over again? That is the ebb and flow. That's the giving and receiving. That's creating. That's to have a constant action and to the reaction. So when we have that and we're following that, it's very strong. It can be as strong as you want it to be. Those waves can be huge and powerful, or they can be gentle with barely disturbing anything. I have a seashell on the scale, plus a rubber ducky, plus I also have a wedding ring at the bottom of all that. This is what we want to focus on life. This is what we want to focus on fun. This little watch, which is a little robot, actually symbolizes you, because the face of the clock, if you can see that in the video, is the ticking, the time that goes on in our heads, the little voices that we hear every single day. On the robot's belly is, I'm not sure if you can see that clearly, but it's actually a compass, our direction. North, south, east, west. Where are we going? Where are we going? Things to focus on. On the scale, am I focusing too much attention on this, or do I need to focus more attention on that? Is one outweighing the other? What is that? So, this class is about ebb and flow. This class is about taking in and taking out, understanding it, using what the symbol is, but not to get caught up on the symbol because it's illusion. Or like the surfers here in Hawaii. They can ride those big, powerful waves that can tower over your head. And they can learn how to ride them with ease. But their skill in those powerful waves, or being able to ride through those waves in what we call a tube, where you see the surfers ride through while the water is actually going over their heads. And to know when they have to stop if they're not going to make it to shore with that wave, and then they have to dive through that wave. And then there's an onslaught of 2 more waves coming, because usually waves come in 3s. So to know how to ride that second wave, or to ride on top of that one with ease and let them fly over the wave for the other wave, and to ride that one over for ease. Surfers, they have to share a wave. There's a bunch of surfers out there. You're going to have to share your wave, the big waves that come up. So when do you know when to be able to do that? Or you ride one wave, but hey, the next 2 sets might be for these guys on the left or right of you. Where's the balance in all that, even out there? Or if you just want to play in what we call the ankle snapper waves, which is waves that barely hit your ankles, and it's gentle and it's play, and you can take your rubber duck, you can take your partner and just float and just have a great time and an easeful time. When do you know when to do that? The scale, I kind of call the scale of life. This is your life right now. This is the balance. This is what you're doing. Yeah, you might be working a little bit to be able to play, and then you concentrate on being able to play, and you see even when I even touch the scale, everything moves. Then you're focusing on that, but you're not focusing on work. So then when you want to focus in on work, oh my God, where are you going to find time for the play? Then all of a sudden the work consumes you. So what is that? What is that? How can we achieve that ease, that ebb and flow to come back and forth? In Maui, I used an example in the last video that I'll use in this video, which is all about letting things go. But sometimes we can't let things go. So we have this thing called Aloha Friday, Pau Hana. When we're Pau, we're done all the way to Hana, which is another town on the island, far away. Or if you're listening to this in Hana, then you're Pau, which means I'm done. And we take that and say, okay, the weekend is done until Aloha Sunday, which is when you spend it with your family, with friends, you go on the beach. That's what it's meant for. But hey, a lot of us work throughout the weekend. A lot of us have jobs that is working through the weekend. How do we have time to spend with family? How do we have time to work even more and concentrate? Where do we take all this? When some of us here on Maui work 3 jobs just to stay on the island, as some people were born on the island here and have been able to maintain a balance, or they may not. They may be even at disease. When we've all come here, to get ease, to get balance. So how do we make that happen? Because there's constant ebb and flow. The water will constantly go back and forth. It'll come back powerful, it'll come back gentle, but it's always going to recede and pull back into the ocean. So what is that? It's kind of like a universal law. If you haven't heard of universal law before, universal law means it's just the way it is. You throw a ball up in the air, the gravity is going to pull it down. The action is throwing it up, the reaction is having it come back down to the ground. So we have to be able to understand and see and be aware of how to create ease with all this, because this is an illusion. This whole scale thing and the perfect balance, there is never perfect balance. There's always going to be something coming up, back and forth, coming and going, always happening. But then if you give into something in the sense of giving, in the sense of giving yourself, allowing, then the reaction of that will be following it with the emotions and your behaviors and how things happen, and to be able to see that. Now, I gave a homework assignment in the last video about just being aware of that and writing it down. You can put me on pause and grab your iPad, your notebook, a piece of paper, and if you're watching this for the first time, grab a piece of paper and a pen, put me on pause, because what you'll need to do if you're watching this for the first time is just write down what happens when you set an intention for your goals. What's the emotional response? How do you feel? And then when that intention and goal is coming your way out of the reaction, what's going on then? Do you feel fear? Do you feel intimidation? Do you feel excited? Do you feel like this is the next step? And if you do feel the fear or intimidation or, wow, this is actually happening, how can you make it better? What makes you feel better in this? Because just because we set the intention doesn't mean we can't bend and sway towards something else. Or setting that intention will show us another intention, another direction in our roadmap of life, meaning that road that we travel. And we get that through the values that we create. The intention that you set, is it bumping up against your values now, or is it aligning with your values? Is it creating that ease? Is it creating not such a frantic up and down motion, or is it creating an up and down motion? And if it is, let's be aware of it. Now, it'd be nice to be able to just push this and make it completely even, but it's impossible. Something's going to outweigh the other. So because of that, let's just focus in on the ebb and the flow now. The waves coming in and pounding. The surfers being able to ride the wave and know the wave and understand the wave and learn from the wave. Or to be able to give the wave to other surfers, that it's on one side of them or the other side of them, and to know when to take their own personal wave. Or is there a routine? Does it come in order? And if that happens, then what's that all about? Can you share your intention with other people? Can you share your intention that might excite someone else to do their intention or to work with your intention? So think about that. And you don't have to be an ocean away, people. You don't have to be an ocean away. You're right here, right now, talking to me. And I would love to hear your comments below this video, in the comment box below. Or you can link on to any of the other links and make comments there, or my blog. You can personally email me as well, and I will respond back to you. I've had wonderful responses so far, and insights and excitement about this whole intention class, and to keep focused and to be able to keep your intention to get to that goal. And if you've already achieved some of the goals in the class, then hopefully you're starting out a new intention. And our values shift, our values change, our situations change. Like the scale, things can be up and down. And if we are aware of what we react to, then we can continue to go on with our intentions. That's happening right here, right now. So with aloha and mahalo, which means thank you in Hawaiian, do your homework. I will check in with everyone and let's see where the ebb and flow, the ease lies. So share with me. Until next time, until next week, aloha. Okay, this